Yeah, so the question is about the ongoing issues, and is there any resolution to this, and how's it going to be resolved? I mean, this conflict the conflict between Israelis and Palestinians has been going on for several generations now. It's not a centuries-old conflict. It's really a more modern conflict that has its roots back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And there are ways to solve it along some kind of political agreement, all right? And so most of what you hear about, what you read about in the paper, are attempts to diplomatically solve this conflict through a peace agreement of some kind, of political peace. And so to do that, there are four core issues that have to be solved, all right? If you size this up, that Israelis and Palestinians are two national groups, two people groups that are fighting over the same piece of territory, the way you solve that is somehow to divide it. So you have to figure out what is the border between them, all right? You have to solve the issue of Jerusalem, which both claim as their capital, but which also all three religious groups, Jews, Christians, and Muslims that are from there, claim as a historic and sacred place to them, all right? You have to figure out what do you do about this question of refugees, which are those Palestinians who lost their homes when Israel was created in 1948. There were about 750,000 Palestinians who became refugees after the founding of Israel, and that issue has never been resolved. And so how do you solve the refugee question? And then the fourth thing is, how do you deal with the issues of security? How do you ensure that Israel, as a state, has secure borders and can live in security with its neighbors, all right? So those are the four political issues that have to be solved, and there are others that flow out of those, but those are when you hear about the peace process, those are the issues that they're always talking about. And I argue for the fact that, yeah, we have to solve those, and that there are answers to those questions. They're not easy. If they were easy, they would have been solved a long time ago. But there are ways to solve those issues that involve compromises on both sides and that create some kind of different future for the people who live there. I think that's really important. But if you just do the political piece of this, if you just solve those issues and you don't really deal with the issues of reconciliation, then you're only putting a pause button on conflict. You're not really solving the conflict. So any approach to really solving this conflict has to both deal with those difficult issues of creating a political agreement, but also really doing the hard work of helping people on both sides deal with the pain and the injustice of the past, the violence that's been done, the horrible things that have happened, and out of that find a way to bring reconciliation. And I think that's where, even as Christians, we can certainly find a way, a language that allows us to enter in and to help in those kinds of situations. And what you find there is that even now, in the absence of a political agreement, you have a lot of good folks who are trying to do just that. They're trying to find a way to bring reconciliation, trying to find a way to connect people back together again.